Gus G, we've got you on the
Hey.
phone. How's it going?
Yeah, good. I tried to call another number and it didn't work. So yeah, I think there must have been like a wrong number or something.
Gus G, you got a new album that's coming out, October 26th, Firewind, Days of Defiance. Tell me a
Yeah.
little bit about that, the North American release.
Like I said, it's coming out in just a few days from now. I think on Monday or something. And yeah, it's our sixth studio album. It's probably got like 13 brand new tracks. And I mean, it doesn't really differ from any of the of what we've done in the past. It's really the whole idea with this album was to kind of like take all the past, the best elements of the past albums and kind of like put it into one and really establish our sound and style really.
When you take this album, how long did it take you to make the album, let's say in the studio?
We actually really took our time with it. We didn't really rush it. I mean, we wanted to be super happy with it, and we didn't even tell the label when we started recording or something. We kind of like did everything kind of like very low key, and actually recorded everything in our home studios. Everybody kind of like in the band now has a Pro Tools setup and everything, and we did it kind of like we kind of like did it ourselves. We produced it ourselves, engineered it ourselves. We started writing some of the songs on the road in 2008, like a couple of tracks. Songs like "Embrace the Sun" and "Heading for the Dawn" were written on the road, but the real songwriting session started in the beginning of 2009, and by the summer of 2009 we were done with everything, and then that's when we started recording. I think from July or August or something.
So basically, Firewind produced the album.
Yes, yeah. I mean, mainly me and Bob, and we kind of like were in charge of the whole recordings and production. It was like more like a do it yourself kind of record. We really wanted to take control over things this time.
Listen to the first track, Ark of Lies. That's a one powerful track. The sound quality, for you guys to produce that yourselves, in the basement, that's quite impressive.
No, I mean, we didn't really do it in a basement. I mean, by saying doing it in our home studios, I don't mean it's like we use cheap ass equipment or something.
Oh no, I understand. Good equipment, but it's
yeah, good equipment. I'm just saying that we kind of like did it. We did it in our home studios, and didn't really, we didn't really we didn't really rent a studio to just do everything. We just did everything on our own, and it took our time to write the stuff. We went back and forth with the demos, and particularly this track, "Ark of Lies," is one of the songs I actually completely wrote myself, and I just wanted to kind of like recreate the vibe of our debut album there. Kind of like wanted to get a little bit of that, kind of like roughness that we had and raw feeling that we had on the first album, Between Heaven and Hell. Kind of like recreate that old vibe or something, and yeah, I wanted to get like a heavy double bass, kind of like up-tempo track or something with a lot of guitar shredding in it and stuff, and it's got a pretty cool arrangement to it as well.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a really, really good sounding song. And then World on Fire, the video you guys got, a very good looking video. How long you guys take to make this video?
We spent about like 5 days in Sweden a few months ago and we actually shot 2 videos for 2 songs, and a couple of days was for this one, I think, for World on Fire, and I mean, it wasn't so much the filming because it was all done on green screen, and that kind of like took, I think, more or less like a day. It was, I think, the post-production was what took so long, because all these cool effects that Patrick Uleos did. It's the guy's a master at that, and I really like. I think it's our best video. I mean, I know it's pretty cheesy and all that, but fuck it, we're playing heavy metal, traditional heavy metal, and that's what it's all about. We want to get that barbaric vibe into it, and you can. I mean, plus we're Greek, there's a little bit of that 300 mode on there as well, some of the scenery and stuff. It also incorporates the album cover, which is pretty cool.
Excellent stuff. And what's the other video you're talking about that you've released?
No, we haven't released it yet. It's gonna be sometime next year. I can't tell you which song it's gonna be though.
I understand. Now on this album, what type of amps you using? Like Black Star exclusively?
Well, actually, on this album, I recorded everything. I recorded everything before I really started working with Black Star. So The way we did it with the guitars this time was we actually kind of like we used a technique of reamping. Don't know if you're familiar with it, which is basically you're just recording your guitars through a pilot track, basic pilot sound.
Okay.
Which could be like, we actually used like some plug-in or something from the computer, so just to get like a distorted sound, But then we basically took the clean signal, we split the signal and we took the clean signal, and in the mixing process we reamped my signal through various amps. I don't really know what kind of amps they used when they mixed the album in Finland, but what they did, it was pretty fucking cool. I like how my guitar tone kind of like bites on this one.
It's very tough sounding.
Yeah, very raw, very stripped down. Almost like too much high end on it, and I kind of like it. I like it a lot.
Compared to what you used on Scream, what did you use on Ozzy Osbourne's latest album for amps?
On Ozzy's, it was a different situation. We still did reamping, but because I was in the studio doing that, and we had the chance to try out a lot of different stuff there on Ozzy's studio. That's when I actually started hooking up with Blackstar. They just brought me down one of the Sirius 1-200 heads that I had. They had, and they just brought it down, and they like, try it out, and we did with Kevin Churko, producer, and we liked it. It's one of those things. Oh, let's do a track or something, and before you know it, most of the record's completed, and we did it with a Blackstar amp, and we combined the Blackstar amp with a Marshall JCM 800. So I used 2 amps for the rhythm parts on Ozzy's album, and for the leads I did everything with the Blackstar.
So still today, you're still using, or let's say it's still standard to use JCM 800 Marshall?
Well, we just did it actually to, of course, a standard. Marshall is kind of like how it all started, right?
Right.
And actually, the Blackstar guys are guys from Marshall that left Marshall and went on to do Blackstar. So what Blackstar sound is really, it's kind of like a really hot-rodded Marshall. I wanted to get a little bit of that more like classic tone on there through the Marshall. Actually, we used different speakers as well. We used both EV speakers and the Celestion speakers, the 30 speakers. And they created different tones. So they kind of like both these two amps kind of complemented each other. So one was a little bit more. One was a little bit more, mid-range, and the other one had was brighter. The Blackstar was brighter with more high-end, and them two worked really well together.
How did you feel like in the morning when you saw that you've dominated the Guitar World industry? Like, you're on the top of the Guitar market. You're on Guitar World magazine, the front cover. How do you feel about all that?
Dude, it's fucking beyond crazy. Every day I get like emails with new magazine covers coming in from all around the world. I'm freaking out. It's like it's a very satisfying feeling, actually. Very, very it's kind of like the feeling that you're like, wow, it really paid off. All this fucking hard, all these years of hard work and practicing and struggling. People are actually really taking notice finally, and I'm very happy about it. But on the other hand, it's like a huge dream coming true. It's like if you would have told me that I would, one day I'd be on the cover of Guitar World with Ozzy, especially, I would be like, well, get the fuck out of here.
Now, do you keep track of all these magazine covers and magazine articles for your own collection?
Yeah, I try to, man. I'm doing lots of interviews, but I try to keep track of that stuff as much as possible, and I'm lucky that I have good publicity people that they keep track of all these things and they send it in, and I try to get whenever I can get the actual copies of the magazines. I keep them for my own collection. Obviously I definitely got the Guitar World stuff and all that. These are magazines that I grew up reading.
Yeah.
Like Total Guitar and Guitar World and Guitar Player, like all these big magazines. I always got them since I was a kid.
Are you endorsed by Seymour Duncan pickups?
I've been playing them. Yeah. I've been playing Seymour Duncan. Before I got endorsed, actually. Since I started using ESP guitars, Seymour Duncans were on there, and I had the Duncan Distortion in 59 combination,
So were they stuck into the guitar like the original pieces on it?
Yeah, yeah. ESP guy suggested it to me. You know, the Japanese ESP guy suggested these, and I really liked it, and it really worked. You know, for what I was doing in Firewind and stuff, and what I'm doing in Firewind. And when I finally got endorsed by them and started working more closely with them, they started sending me more pickups to try out. And what I found out was I was never really into the active pickups. You know, I was more like a passive guy, but they sent me this new model they have called Blackouts, which is like active pickups, but they have passive sensitivities, and you know, you can actually hear the wood resonate and all, the harmonics and everything. It's not like just that one fucking sound that kills the wood, you know.
Mhm.
And at the same time, they got tons of distortion, really fucking massive distortion. It's almost like makes it effortless to play, you know. And I put it on my guitars, and I was like, wow, this is it. And I've become a huge Blackouts fan ever since.
Do you like try out other Seymour Duncan pickups also, or you just you're gonna do these and use the ones that were stuck on the guitar in the Blackouts?
I'm actually, I mean, for the past year, I've been so much into the Blackouts that I haven't really. I mean, I did play around with other pickups as well, but I thought the Blackouts fit my sound best, and I kind of like got stuck with them now for the past year, and I've been changing it all. And I've been putting it on most of my guitars. I mean, I still got a few of my guitars with the passive pickups on there, for different sounds and all. You don't want to. I mean, if you have like whatever, a few guitars, 10 guitars or something, you don't want every guitar to sound the same. So.
Right.
And we've been working together with Seymour Duncan lately on on a few prototypes and working on maybe a new pickup thing. And they always send me stuff whenever they got prototypes and stuff to check it out and tell them my opinion. And I'm always open to ideas.
Well, that's good to know that you're going to be trying out other pickups from Seymour Duncan. They're a great company.
They're the best, man. I mean, I've used them for the past 7 years, and they just got such a high quality tone, And I visited their factory last summer, and I met everybody there, and they got a great team going on. They really know what these guys, they know what they're doing.
Let me ask you, how did you feel in the morning when you woke up when you were going to BlizzCon 2009 pay-per-view with Ozzy? What was going in your head?
Actually, it wasn't in the morning. It was in the afternoon, right after the audition with Ozzy. They just went in the room and discussed for a few minutes, and I was left outside there alone waiting. And then a few minutes later, Sharon Osbourne came out and asked me if I would like to come back and do an event with them. And that was a really, I don't know, that was a crazy moment. I mean, I didn't know what to think. I was thinking, I didn't know if it was for real. It was kind of like a fucking, like a too good to be true kind of moment, And yeah.
Then you finally open your eyes and you're on the stage.
Hard for me to realize for quite a few months later,
And, I mean, you open your eyes and all of a sudden you're on stage, BlizzCon pay-per-view. That's incredible.
Oh yeah, I mean, hey, that was my debut gig, and it wasn't really like a fucking low profile gig either. It was like you said, pay-per-view, all of America fucking watching there, and the next minute you're all on YouTube.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was kind of like straight into the hardcore stuff, the hardcore way. But it's good that it happened that way,
You went through the big test right there,
I went to the big test, and all this shit came in right away, and it was like the whole world knew the next minute, really. I mean, and of course the whole shit storm came in,
Yeah.
The whole shit storm started, and it was actually good that it happened that way, because I had time to think things over, before I actually, completed everything and went out on the proper tour.
North American tour, Canadian tour in November with Ozzy. How do you like coming to Canada?
I like Canada because I've played there, with Firewind. We've done a couple of tours there, and it's been really crazy crowds there, man. You guys are crazy. Where are you in Canada?
Nova Scotia.
All right, yeah, we actually are playing there, right?
Not that I've seen in the agenda.
Okay. I think I've seen the name somewhere. Anyways, but
That might be good news
yeah.
then, Gus.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm really looking forward to coming back and doing more dates in Canada. And actually, Firewind is going to do a one-off only in Montreal, right before Ozzy's tour starts. And then I'm going to do a bunch of gigs with Ozzy. And I mean, it's going to be great. Now I have great memories from the Firewind tour in 2008 when we were out with Arch Enemy. I remember the Canadian crowds were the best.
We love our metal.
Yes,
from what I've seen.
That's for sure, man. I mean, I remember like from Toronto and Quebec City all the way to I don't know, fucking Regina and Vancouver. It was great,
Yeah. Well, Gus, I'm so happy to have talked to you, and your news just keeps on getting better and better. Now you got a new album with Firewind again, Days of Defiance. Can't wait to see that released.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this record. I'm very, very proud of it, and I hope people are gonna go out and then check it out and support it. And I think it's a really, really strong effort from the band, and it really represents who we are right now.
And you'll be doing lots of signings and stuff at stores, in stores, appearances for this album?
I've scheduled only a couple. I'm going to do one in New York City before the Firewind gig in New York, and one in Montreal the day after our gig in Montreal. So I'm not scheduling a whole lot of that, just like a couple.
Okay.
Whenever like dealers ask me or something, and I'm happy to go to the stores and meet as many fans as possible. Because sometimes it's not possible to meet everybody at the show or after the show. Because you got to travel or whatever. But doing an in-store thing and meeting fans is always great.
Well, Gus, you're a real humble guy, and only wish you the best in luck. And
Thanks, man.
It's great, and hope to see you on tour and do an in-person interview next time I see you.
Hopefully, yes. Fantastic.
All right, Gus, you have a great evening in California, I presume.
I'm in Greece right now.
In Greece, okay, so you're calling overseas.
So it's midnight here.
Then you're doing crazy hour interviews.
Yes. Well, that's what I do, man.
That shows that you're even more dedicated. That's awesome.
Cool, man. Thanks, I appreciate it.
Then good night to you, Gus.
Thank you, my friend. Be well.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.